In the heart of West Africa, Burkina Faso stood at a crossroads in April 2025. A nation battered by years of violence, its people looked to one man for hope, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the young, fiery leader who had seized power in a 2022 coup. At just 37, Traoré was the world's second youngest head of state, a soldier-turned-president who promised to crush the jihadist insurgents tearing his country apart and restore pride to a struggling nation. His bold reforms, nationalizing gold mines, doubling military spending, and forging ties with Russia, made him a hero to many but a target to others. This is the true story of how Traoré uncovered a sinister plot to topple his government, a tale of spies, betrayal, and a nation's fight to survive. Welcome to a world of secrets. Welcome to the gripping saga of courage and deception. It began quietly in the shadows of Ouagadougou, the capital city. Traoré had been in power for over 2 years, navigating a land where jihadist groups controlled nearly half the territory. Despite his promises, the insurgents grew bolder, launching attacks that left thousands dead and millions displaced. Traoré's supporters cheered his defiance of France, the former colonial power, and his pivot to new allies like Russia and Turkey. But within the army and beyond Burkina Faso's borders, whispers of discontent grew louder. Some saw Traoré as a savior, others called him a dictator clinging to power. By early 2025, those whispers had turned into a dangerous plan, a coup to overthrow him and plunge the nation into chaos. The plot was born in secrecy, far from the dusty streets of Ouagadougou. Across the border in Ivory Coast, a group of exiled Burkinabe officers schemed in hidden safe houses. Among them were Major Joanny Compaoré and Lieutenant Abdrahmane Bari, once loyal soldiers who had fled after Traoré's rise. They believed Traoré had betrayed Burkina Faso, accusing him of mismanaging the fight against jihadists and sidelining the military's old guard. Their goal was clear: storm the Coziam Palace, arrest Traoré, and install a new regime. But this was no ordinary coup. The plotters had made a shocking alliance, one that would shake the nation to its core. They had reached out to the very jihadist groups Traoré swore to destroy, promising rewards in exchange for coordinated attacks to distract the army on the day of the coup. As the conspirators laid their plans, Traoré remained unaware, focused on rallying his people. But in the world of espionage, no secret stays hidden forever. The first clue came in late March 2025 when Burkina Faso's intelligence service, Unit 9, picked up strange chatter on encrypted online channels. Something big was coming. The question was, who was behind it and how far would they go to bring Traoré down? While Ibrahim Traoré rallied his nation against jihadist threats, a secret war was brewing in the shadows. In Abidjan, Ivory Coast's bustling capital, Major Joanny Compaoré gathered his inner circle in a nondescript apartment, far from prying eyes. Compaoré was no ordinary exile. A seasoned officer with years in Burkina Faso's army, he had once sworn loyalty to the nation's flag. Now, disillusioned by Traoré's leadership, he saw himself as the architect of a new dawn. By February 2025, he had built a tight-knit group of conspirators, each with a critical role in what they called Operation Dawn, a daring plan to seize power on April 16, 2025. This was not just a coup. It was a betrayal that would test the very soul of Burkina Faso. Compaoré's right-hand man was Lieutenant Abdrahmane Bari, a charismatic officer known for his fiery speeches. Exiled after clashing with Traoré's regime, Bari became the plot's voice. In a hidden studio, he recorded videos and audio messages, his words dripping with passion, promising to restore Burkina Faso's honor. These recordings, meant to flood radio and social media on coup day, called on soldiers and citizens to rise against Traoré's tyranny. Some clips were smuggled onto encrypted apps, stirring rumors of an uprising. Bari's voice was a weapon, designed to spark a revolution the moment the plotters struck. Inside Burkina Faso, Captain Élisée Tassimbido played a different role. An active-duty officer, Tassimbido was the logistics mastermind. In the dead of night, he moved crates of rifles, grenades, and uniforms to secret warehouses on Ouagadougou's outskirts. His connections in the army allowed him to recruit junior officers, quietly building a force ready to storm the Coziam Palace. Every move was cloaked in secrecy: burner phones, coded messages, and late-night meetings in safe houses. Tassimbido's work ensured the coup would have the firepower to succeed. The final piece of the puzzle was Commander Frédéric Ouédraogo, a retired officer with a knack for propaganda. Ouédraogo crafted slick videos showing masked soldiers declaring Burkina Faso's liberation. One such video, leaked online in early April, went viral before authorities shut it down. It showed a shadowy figure urging citizens to reclaim the nation on April 16. Ouedraogo's goal was to sow doubt in Traoré's government, convincing the public the coup was a rescue mission. Together, these four men, Compaoré, Bari, Tassimbido, and Ouedraogo, formed a dangerous alliance, united by ambition and anger. But their boldest move was also their most reckless. Compaoré, through secret channels, struck a deal with jihadist militants wreaking havoc in Burkina Faso's north. He shared details of army patrols and garrisons, enabling the insurgents to plan major attacks on Coup Day. In return, the jihadists would get amnesty or rewards under the new regime. This alliance was a betrayal of everything the army stood for, tying the coup to the very chaos Traoré fought against. Unbeknownst to the plotters, Unit 9 was listening. In late March, analysts noticed unusual activity on dark web forums. A user, Burk1984, hinted at a big event in April. Posing as militants, agents engaged the user, uncovering vague references to friends in the south, code for Ivory Coast. Then, in early April, a breakthrough, intercepted satellite calls revealed an officer leaking troop positions to jihadists. The voice belonged to Compaoré. The pieces were falling into place. Traoré's government was waking up to the threat, and time was running out for the conspirators. As April 2025 dawned, the conspirators behind Operation Dawn grew bolder, their plan to topple Ibrahim Traoré nearing its climax. Major Joanny Compaoré, safe in Ivory Coast, sent encrypted messages to his team, finalizing tactics and rendezvous points. Lieutenant Abdramain Bari's latest recordings, filled with calls to overthrow Traoré, were ready to flood Burkina Faso's airwaves. Captain Elise Tassimbido stockpiled weapons in Ouagadougou's hidden depots, while Commander Frédéric Ouedraogo's propaganda videos spread confusion online. The plotters believed they were untouchable, their April 16 coup just days away. They dreamed of a new Burkina Faso under their control, but their ambition blinded them to the eyes watching from the shadows. Traoré was about to strike back. The breakthrough came on April 8, when Unit 9, Burkina Faso's elite intelligence team, connected the dots. The intercepted calls linking Compaoré to jihadists were damning, revealing a plot far darker than a simple power grab. The coup was a double-edged sword, an assault on the Coziam Palace paired with jihadist attacks to cripple the army. Analysts also flagged Ouedraogo's viral video, its call for action on April 16 too precise to be coincidence. Then a tip from a loyal officer exposed Tassimbido's arms smuggling. The evidence was clear, a betrayal woven deep within the army, tied to Burkina Faso's worst enemies. Traoré, known for his iron resolve, refused to let his nation fall. On April 10, Traoré summoned his top advisors to a secret meeting at the presidential lodge. The room was tense, maps and intercepts spread across a table. Unit 9's chief laid out the plot, Compaoré's leadership, Bari's propaganda, Tassimbido's weapons, and Ouedraogo's psychological warfare. The jihadist alliance was the final straw. Traoré's face hardened. These were men he had once trusted, soldiers who had sworn to protect Burkina Faso. Now they conspired with terrorists to tear it apart. "We stop this now," he ordered, "before they bring chaos to our streets." The plan, dubbed Operation Nightfall, was set for April 15, the eve of the coup, to crush the plot in one swift blow. As dusk fell on April 15, Ouagadougou slept, unaware of the storm brewing. Loyal soldiers, handpicked by Traoré, moved silently into position. Unit 9 and Special Forces, called Group Intervention, fanned out across the city. At 11 p.m., the first strike hit a warehouse on the capital's edge, one of Tassimbido's arms depots. Bursting through the doors, soldiers found rifles, grenades, and a map of the Coziam Palace, an attack plan for dawn. 3 junior officers, caught off guard, surrendered. Across town, commandos raided a villa where Ouedraogo was uploading propaganda. The 60-year-old shouted about saving the nation as he was arrested, his laptop seized, packed with coup manifestos. Compaoré's fate was grimmer. Acting on a tip, an assault team ambushed his convoy as he moved between safe houses. In a tense standoff, Compaoré surrendered, his dreams of power shattered. But Tassimbido, the logistics chief, slipped away. Sensing trouble when his contacts went silent, he vanished into the night, leaving the plot without its arsenal. By midnight, the arrests numbered in the dozens, officers, ex-soldiers, and accomplices. Operation Nightfall had worked. The coup was dead before it could begin, but Traoré knew the fight was far from over. Dawn broke over Ouagadougou on April 16, 2025, with an eerie calm. The streets buzzed with motorbikes, markets opened, and life carried on as if nothing had happened. Most Burkinabé had no idea their nation had teetered on the edge of chaos just hours before. Ibrahim Traoré's Operation Nightfall had dismantled the coup codenamed Operation Dawn before it could ignite. Major Joanny Compaoré was in custody, Commander Frédéric Ouedraogo arrested, Lieutenant Abdramain Bari stranded in Ivory Coast, and Captain Élysée Tassimbido on the run. The Coziam Palace stood untouched, but the scars of betrayal ran deep. Traoré now faced a new battle, to expose the spies and secure his nation's future. That evening, Traoré appeared on national television, his fatigue-clad figure radiating resolve. "Last night, while you slept, enemies of Burkina Faso plotted to destroy us," he began, his voice steady. "They failed because of our brave security forces. We will hunt every traitor and we will show no mercy." Without naming names, he hinted at foreign hands, pointing to Ivory Coast, where Compaoré and Bari had schemed. Traoré revealed the plot's shocking twist: the conspirators' alliance with jihadists, the same insurgents killing Burkinabé soldiers and civilians. "These men betrayed you," he said, "but we stand stronger today." He ended with a call for unity, urging citizens to join the fight against terrorism. The screen faded, leaving a nation in shock and awe. On April 21, Security Minister Mahamadou Sana held a televised briefing, laying bare the conspiracy's chilling details. He named Compaoré and Bari as the masterminds, operating from Abidjan with Ivory Coast's alleged protection. The coup, Sana explained, was a two-pronged attack. Dissident soldiers would storm the palace while jihadists launched strikes across the provinces. Documents found in safe houses revealed plans for a new government, one that would invite foreign powers to control parts of Burkina Faso, a betrayal of the nation's hard-won independence. Sana also exposed attempts to sway religious and tribal leaders, a desperate bid to legitimize the coup. The plot's scope stunned the country. Dozens of officers, active and retired, were arrested, their loyalty to Burkina Faso now in question. The fallout was swift. Traoré reshuffled military leadership, rooting out suspected allies of the plotters. Courts-martial loomed for those detained, though Tassimbido remained a fugitive, his escape a lingering threat. The accusations against Ivory Coast sparked a diplomatic firestorm. Abidjan denied sheltering the plotters, but old wounds from 2024 flared, threatening West African unity at a time when jihadist groups were exploiting division. By 2025, insurgents controlled 40% of Burkina Faso, and the coup's failure was a double victory. It stopped a takeover and protected the fragile fight against terrorism. In homes and barracks, Burkinabé grappled with mixed emotions. Relief at Traoré's triumph, anger at the traitors, and fear of what lay ahead. Who else was involved? Could another plot emerge? Traoré's calm leadership won praise, but the coup exposed cracks in the army and tensions with neighbors. As jihadists probed for weaknesses, Burkina Faso faced a daunting task: rebuilding trust while battling enemies within and beyond its borders. The failed coup was a wake-up call, a reminder of the cost of division. Traoré had exposed the spies, but the road to stability was long. For now, Burkina Faso stood firm, its young leader unbowed, ready to face whatever came next.